the universe moment with myself, like no more shallow stories. Mm-hmm. I felt like the things I was doing was just because it was comfortable and it was easy. Mm-hmm. And I decided I didn't want to be comfortable. I didn't want the narrative to be easy. I wanted it to be profound for me and the people who look at it. And so I purposely decided when I started back making art, I was going to make something that really told a deeper narrative. Mm-hmm. On my website, if you go, I call myself an artist, an author, an artivist, like artist activist, and a visual griot. Mm-hmm. Because that's who I think I'm becoming, is a visual griot. I'm a visual storyteller. I'm a keeper of the stories. Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask you about your website. Mm-hmm. What's the web address?
SageBelly.com.
Okay. And what does that mean?
Sage, green is my favorite color. Sage is a wise person. Sage is a medicinal herb. And your belly, trust your gut. So trusting all of those things.
Nice.
That's how I came up with the name for it. And I used to do body casting. I don't advertise it anymore. I started a business. I'm always like, okay, need to make money. Right. So I was like, I'm going to do these belly casts of these pregnant women and put art on it. Was making a killing doing it. I still do it, but I don't advertise it. You know, pregnant women cluster. Mm-hmm. And so people just call me. Ironically enough, when I started that business, 50% of my business was not pregnant women. It was just women or men embracing their body where it was. And so I would go and cast them, put the artwork on it, and they had this work of art that was theirs. Even if you're pregnant, every belly's different. So clients would call back when they were having their second and third babies, and so I have repeat customers. Mm-hmm. So when I thought Sage Belly is part of that too, but that wasn't the deeper meaning. People just assumed that's what it meant. So I was like, okay, are you paying me? Cut the check, you know. Mm-hmm.
So what is, if we were to look at SageBelly.com, what does your artist statement say?
My artist statement says that I am a free-spirited artist, and anything and anybody I encounter has the potential to become a part of my art. That would be the meat of what it says. Mm-hmm. And that I play a mean game of Scrabble and love coffee. People play Scrabble with me. They don't want to come back. I'm a wordsmith. I write. I've published 6 books. 4 of them are poetry books. Mm-hmm. I used to do spoken word. Not so much now. I just write. I love words. I love roots of words. I love the meaning of words. Mm-hmm. And so writing is a part of my actual art aesthetic. Like the work I was telling you about I'm working on now, developing in my sketchbook, a lot of it has text on it. Mm-hmm. And part of that is my love of words and a double entendre behind words and multiple meanings. And how people take words and how certain words hit people.
Right. The weight of
something. Mm-hmm. You know, art is meant to provoke. Mm-hmm. And so I would like to provoke some of the artists. I really love their work right now. Kara Walker, I call her work beautiful, ugly. Beautiful technique. The work is so disturbing. It's hard not to look away. I teach her. And this guy, I forget where he's from, Oleg Du, Olegdou. Amazing work. He's a photographer. He manipulates the photographs and they look haunting almost. I'm just like, I can't look away. I try not to go online to look at him because I can't look away. I go down the rabbit hole. And then there's another artist. Her name is Magdalena Abakanowicz. She's like Polish and something. And she does these forms that repeat in mass. And it's like, wow. You know, so my range of who I like is so different. You know, you study the masters, not to be like them, but to learn what they did and to break away and find yourself, I think.
Correct.
So you don't go do this and think you invented it. It's like, oh, okay, 12 other people did that already.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard finding your place in a place that's so full of many artists and you think you've done something original. It's just something somebody else has done and you just...
And the world's so much smaller now.
So much smaller.
The technology just puts everything within reach that is you're going to cross paths.
Yeah.
So the writing, did there ever come a time, and I'm looking for that time in your life when you sat down and you said, you know what, I have to write this and it has to come out. When you thought that, did you think it has to come out on these pages, or it has to come out and then published because the world has to hear this?
Probably when I was younger, like elementary school. We used to play these writing games. And my teacher would say, take a word and make as many words out of it as you can. And other students would make like 10 words and I would have like 150. And so she asked me, could I stop playing so the other kids could win? I was like, no, because we're winning books.
Oh, snap, right.
Right. I was like, shh.
Unless you got a stash back there.
We were winning books, and I was winning every week. And so I learned early I had a gift for art and a gift for writing. Mm-hmm. And my dad used to take me and my siblings, to the art museum in Raleigh when we were little. And my siblings would run around, and I was walking around. My eyes were big as saucers. Mm-hmm. I just was in love with everything. I was like skipping and clapping, which ironically enough, when I went to Philadelphia to that museum last year, I was doing the same thing. I was like going through this skipping and clapping and tearing up over pieces. Like, I teach the little dancer, and here she is. Mm-hmm. I was the weirdo in the museum. But I think they've been all these small moments throughout my life where I was like, oh God, I'm a writer. I'm an artist. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I can pick one moment. I just know it's always been important to me. It's always saved my life at critical moments. Either I'm writing or I'm making art. Mm-hmm. Ironically enough, my marriage broke up because I wouldn't stop doing my art. I told him 2 things when we got married. Don't put your hands on me, and don't ask me to choose between you and my art. You won't win. He asked me for 2 years not to do my art. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't do it. Like, that wasn't going to work. It's so much a part of me that's saying you don't want me. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you don't want me because I can't not create. Yeah. The times I've been most miserable in my art, I was unable to create something, or write or paint.
Is that because you get inspiration and thoughts come across that you had to put out, bring them out?
Always. I sleep with my sketchbook beside my bed. And sometimes, I don't know, my creativity wakes me up, like kicks the side. I call my creativity my inner child. She'll kick the side of my bed and like, get up now. And I'm like, I'm tired now. Really? And I have to get up and document it. And then I try and go back to sleep. But I have to honor that because I work so hard to have her with me. And so I'll get up 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and work. Whether it's writing or making art or something, I have to get up and do it. And honor it, because like I said, I see so many people that just, I'm not gonna do it, it's too hard now.
Yeah,
I quit being an artist at least twice a week.
Yeah.
At least twice a week, but not really.
And what are those moments like? What is that about?
It's like, oh my gosh, I have to take care of my kids, I gotta go pay these bills, I gotta do this logistical stuff that needs to be done. Regular life gets in the way of my creativity. And so now what I do is I do purposely get up at 2 and 3 in the morning. Everybody's asleep, it's quiet, and that's when I paint. And that's when I write. And I'll do that during the school year. I'll get up at 2 or 3 in the morning, do that, and then get up and go work all day.
So let's explore that a little bit. You have children, you have 5. How old are they?
My older twins are 15 with driver's permits.
All right.
Then I have a 14-year-old. And then I have 7-year-old twins. Okay. And they're all boys.
So you raising 5 children, you teach full time.
And I was full time getting my master's degree when I did that for a year and a half. I was in school full time, so that was one of the hardest things I did.
And then your art.
Yeah.
All of it at one time.
Yes.
And it's easy to see the how some people can feel defeated.
Yeah. Wow.
And then they look at art and. There's all types of artists. Artists who do it for the creative, for the energy, for what they get out of it. And then there's some that do it for that and then say, you know what, somebody wants to buy this.
Right.
And I know that I want to sell it for what's fair. And it becomes part of the business.
Right.
And sometimes you can't. The sales don't come as you want. At least to support itself, to support the art, to support the materials, because they're not cheap.
And having to choose, and this is real talk, having to choose between, I gotta feed my kids and I need some art supplies. And
then you have the show and you have to put together.
Yeah. Like, it's not really an option what needs to be done. But then, because I'm doing right by my children, the universe brings me everything I need. I honestly can say things come, and I can't imagine not taking care of them because this baby that I've had my entire life needs caring for too. It's a toss-up, and it's tough. It's really tough. Like, that year and a half, I was in grad school, but I did it, and I graduated with honors, and I published a book as my capstone. My research I did was called Aesthetic Discrimination, Black Girls and Invisibility in the Art Education Classroom, which made me want to go deeper and realize that the first imagery all kids see a lot, unless your parents are artists, is a picture book. And so it goes back to that. Where from this picture book were you represented? do these kids. I was doing black girls, but you could select any pop. Where do they become invisible by the time you get to high school? Because the textbook don't show, but a handful of women and people of ethnicities. Like I show my students a textbook, like we'll be using this for definitions, and I pull from real life artists to teach them so they can connect, people that are touchable. So they can feel like I can really do this because these people are doing this and they're living and breathing and they're doing it. They're touchable. So, yeah. It's difficult, but,
it's a hard balance. A lot of artists I know let go of the art and focus on their careers, focus on the everyday things, and then eventually later they come back and say, I used to draw, I used to paint. And then they follow that once their commitments are done or something. And I think everybody should take it at their own pace. I feel sad for those who look for art, create art, and then don't see the market there for them.
Right.
Because it's a struggle. It's definitely hard. And then they get played out for their artwork, or they don't get paid what's right, and then eventually they're like, forget this art thing and stuff, and then they don't ever get to explore that part of themselves anymore.
I don't think I could do that. I have a phrase I say: I will never relinquish flying. And for me, that means don't ever give up on your art. Matter of fact, this tattoo, that's why I got that one. That means never relinquish flying. Even when you're contained by four walls, you're still free.
Yes.
So, like, when I was in grad school and I didn't have time to create, I was daydreaming in my head. Like, when I get out, I'm going to do this. I filled up a sketchbook full of potential work. Couldn't make the work, but I could get the little thumbnail down.
Yes.
So, and the notes, so I could remember this is what I wanted to do when I was unable to do it. So... And I think sketchbooks are critical. Like I've started Frida Kahlo in mine in the last few years. They copied her sketchbooks. So when you see the bleed and everything through her sketchbooks. So my sketchbook and journal are not separate. I sketch in there. I do finished works. I do ideas. I journal. So I don't let everybody look at my sketchbook now because it's my journal. It's everything. So now I have them stacked. My kids get them later in their legacy, they're going to know way more about me than they probably want to know. But I kind of keep everything together.
We're going to publish that one day.
One day, yes. There's several of them. Woo, there's some scintillating stuff in there. It's good stuff.
All right. Yeah. So the teaching part, do you think you teach because that keeps you like in a job where you're in touch with art?
Well, nobody teaches for the money, I will say. It does. It allows me to have my hands on art and these young artists and kind of model for them. Because I tell them two things the first day of school. I am not an art teacher. I'm an artist who happens to teach. Don't get it twisted. I'm making art and I will show you what I'm doing. I don't go in with pre-prepped exemplars. If I'm teaching you how to illustrate portraits, okay, I'm going to sit here and draw one so you see me doing it while you're doing it. And so I try and model the behavior I like to see them do. And the other thing I tell them is, I'm here to teach you nothing. I'm here to lead you to the wellspring of your own creative understanding. I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm here to breed thinkers. Disagree with me. You don't have to like every artist I like. Find 3 to 5 that you like. Bring them to me. I'll teach them if you like them. So that's slide. I mean, artist name now. They're out looking now. Because maybe I don't get an artist out of the 25 to 30 kids in the class. Maybe I get 3 artists. Maybe I get 10 art appreciators. And some that walk away with one name that they can identify that's different from Degas, Picasso, the stuff they're taught. I'm in the business of opening minds.
Dang, that's good. I like that. I need to write that one down. So what's in your future? What do you see yourself doing with your art?
Well, I have something major I'm working on right now. I can't speak on it a lot, but I'm working on something huge that's going to be like a residency program for other artists. And was kind of given some place to do it, and so now I'm working on developing that over the next 2 to 3 years. I'll always make my art. I feel like that whole, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it, doesn't make a sound. If nobody ever sees my art or sees me make it, I'm still gonna make it. Like, if nobody ever sees my stuff, I will have to make it because it comes up, it comes through. Like I always say, my work is not mine. I'm just the vessel it chose to come through. And so whatever comes through, that's what I make and that's what I create, and I have to honor that. You know,
you do it for you.
I do it for me, and I'll sell it afterwards. But I make the work I want.